I'm trying to get as big as Mr. Beast, bro. Like, bro's getting how many views on a video? Can definitely do this.
This is the reason KSI will never be as big as Mr. Beast. I hate to break it to you, KSI, but someone has to say it, and clearly no one in your inner circle has the nerve. So buckle up, because I'm about to break down exactly why you'll never be as big as Mr. Beast. Now, don't get me wrong, you've got talent. You've conquered YouTube, music, boxing, energy drinks, and let's not forget reacting to your Reddit. Impressive? Sure. Mr. Beast-level empire building? Not quite. But before we begin, let me say this. It's crazy how people think any form of criticism means hate. Sometimes you're just pointing out patterns or changes you've noticed, not out of spite, just observation. Growth comes from both praise and feedback. Not everyone saying something real is a hater. So here's the first reason. Remembering your roots and core audience. That foundation is what built everything. Lose touch with that, and things start to feel less authentic. In the early stages of KSI's YouTube journey, he quickly carved out a niche for himself by delivering content packed with high-energy antics, outrageous humor, and an unapologetically enthusiastic personality. His videos, often centered around FIFA gameplay, over-the-top reactions, and comedic skits, were raw, unfiltered, and uniquely engaging. This combination resonated strongly with a younger audience, primarily teenagers, who found his unrestrained style both relatable and entertaining. As a result, KSI cultivated a tight-knit community that admired his authenticity, his willingness to push boundaries, and the sense of fun that radiated through his uploads. Over time, as KSI's platform grew and his brand evolved, so too did the audience that had supported him from the beginning. Many of his original fans, who had discovered him in their early teens, have now grown into adulthood. They experienced KSI's rise in real time, following him through his various phases, from gaming content to music, boxing, and entrepreneurship. With this maturation came a shift in perspective. While some remained loyal, appreciating his evolution and business acumen, others began to view him with more critical eyes. For this older segment of his fanbase, the raw, grassroots content that once felt personal and genuine has been replaced by a more polished commercial version of KSI, one driven by sponsorships, high-production ventures, and cross-industry branding. Although KSI has undoubtedly succeeded in attracting a new wave of younger viewers, thanks to his continued relevance on platforms like YouTube and TikTok, as well as his presence in mainstream entertainment, the contrast between past and present is noticeable to those who were there from the start. His original followers have, in many cases, come to see the layers of his public persona, recognizing the calculated nature of a creator who has become a media-savvy entrepreneur. What once felt like a shared joke among friends now often appears as a finely tuned performance. KSI belittling the Sidemen.
I'm having more fun making content for myself as opposed to Sidemen videos. It's crazy, so.
There's a subtle yet piercing shift in energy when KSI is on screen with the Sidemen. Not the competent charisma that once drew millions in, but a veiled arrogance that casts a long shadow over the dynamic. What once felt like a tight-knit brotherhood of equals has, at times, started to resemble a hierarchy, with KSI sitting just a little too comfortably on a self-made throne. The way he interacts with the Sidemen, his original core, the group that helped him build an empire of shared laughter and chaos, often borders on dismissive. It's in the way he barely feigns interest in their group challenges, how he lounges through videos with an air of indifference, rarely matching the effort and excitement the others put in. While the rest throw themselves into absurd tasks or push themselves to entertain, KSI sometimes treats it like an obligation, a box to tick, not a moment to cherish. And the belittlement? It's not overt, but it drips through the cracks. Sarcastic jabs, mocking tones, or that ever-present smirk that seems to say, "I'm above this." The humor crosses into condescension. He'll laugh at his fellow Sidemen rather than with them. It's as if he's looking down from a different level, like he's outgrown them, like he's only gracing the videos with his presence, not actually participating. To a viewer, especially one who's been there since the FIFA Rage days or the early group road trips, it hits differently. It feels like a betrayal of the spirit that made the Sidemen so magnetic in the first place. KSI, once the heart of the chaos, now sometimes feels like an outsider in his own creation, more focused on solo ventures, music, boxing, and celebrity status than the roots that raised him. The fallout? You start to lose respect. Not because success is wrong, but because how one wears that success speaks volumes. Watching KSI act like he's better than the others, whether intentional or not, taints the experience. It introduces a hierarchy where there was once camaraderie, ego where there was once equality, and slowly, that shared joy of Sidemen content starts to feel less like a group of mates having fun and more like a reluctant superstar tolerating the rest. Teaming with the enemy. KSI's decision to join forces with Logan Paul, a figure who was once not just a rival but a sworn enemy, has left a sour taste in the mouths of many longtime fans. Their feud was once the centerpiece of KSI's brand, a battle that felt real, personal, and grounded in principle. It wasn't just entertainment, it was positioned as a clash of values, with KSI standing against everything Logan Paul represented: arrogance, recklessness, and the worst excesses of influencer culture. So, for KSI to now partner with Logan, someone whose reputation was already in shambles due to repeated controversies, has made it glaringly obvious to many that this move was never about friendship, respect, or redemption. It was about one thing and one thing only: money. To KSI's core fan base, the ones who stuck with him from the YouTube days, the music, the fights, this alliance feels like a betrayal. Many of them feel used, as though their years of loyalty and emotional investment were nothing more than leverage to build a business empire. They once believed they were part of something real, a journey driven by passion and individuality. Now, they feel like mere consumers, faceless wallets to be targeted by marketing campaigns, all to make KSI and Logan Paul even richer. The authenticity that once defined KSI's brand feels increasingly hollow. Where fans once saw someone who stood apart from the manufactured friendships and shady sponsorships that plague the influencer world, they now see someone who has embraced those very tactics for personal gain. By teaming up with his former enemy, KSI hasn't just blurred the lines between rivalry and partnership, he's erased them entirely, leaving behind a fan base that feels discarded, exploited, and disappointed. Fame over family. KSI's relationship with his younger brother, Deji, has never been simple. It's been a long, painful unraveling of what should have been an unbreakable bond. Instead of support, there was rivalry. Instead of protection, there was exposure.
I hate it so much, and I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. I've been taking shit for so long.
And in the glare of the public eye, it wasn't love that echoed between them. It was silence, sarcasm, and shame. As KSI rose to fame, he didn't bring Deji with him. He left him behind. What the world witnessed was a pattern. A big brother who mocked, dismissed, and broke down the very person who looked up to him most. Deji's efforts in boxing were met with laughter. KSI didn't offer encouragement, guidance, or belief. He scoffed, he ridiculed. And while some may defend it as brotherly banter, the truth is far more painful. Because when someone admires you, your words hold power. And KSI used his to tear, not to teach. There were no inspirational team talks, no patriotic brotherhood. Instead of being the fire behind Deji's courage, KSI tried to shame him into strength. But shame doesn't build champions, it breaks them. And perhaps the most devastating moment came not from the ring, but from the studio, when YouTuber Randolph dropped a diss track humiliating Deji, airing out private details, attacking his character. KSI didn't defend his brother. He laughed, publicly, loudly, in front of millions. He didn't just stand by while Deji was torn apart. He joined in. That wasn't brotherly teasing. That was betrayal. And as if that pain weren't enough, KSI later exposed another wound, his own. In a raw and unsettling TV documentary, he revealed the cold reality of his childhood. A father who was strict, unloving, and emotionally distant. A man who taught through fear, not affection. KSI laid bare his trauma, but in doing so, he may have unknowingly passed it on. Instead of breaking the chain, he became another link in it. He chose fame over family, strength over softness. And the boy who once needed love became the man who didn't know how to give it. Why KSI will fail.
Every time you survive, you get money. Yeah, I pay you. And the money just keeps doubling every time. And if you're able to survive all the way to the end, you get a Misfits contract.
KSI will never be as big as MrBeast. And the final reason is simple. The world has changed. The YouTube landscape that elevated creators like KSI and MrBeast to global stardom is no longer what it once was. Audiences today are no longer captivated by the same loud, high-energy, hyper-edited formulas that once defined success on the platform. The screaming at the camera, the over-exaggerated thumbnails, the relentless challenges, the never-ending giveaways, they're starting to wear thin. What once felt fresh now feels forced. The YouTube of 2018 to 2023, dominated by money-fueled spectacles and Hollywood-scale productions, is gradually losing its grip. Audiences are tired. Tired of the algorithm-chasing sameness. Tired of recycled ideas dressed up in new thumbnails. Tired of every video being framed like a life-or-death event, only to be a 20-minute loop of, wait for it? We've seen it all. The content machine has wrung out every last drop of novelty from the extreme challenge or insane giveaway genre, and the viewers know it. They're scrolling past, they're clicking away. In 2025, there's a noticeable shift. Viewers are gravitating back toward authenticity. There's a hunger for content that feels real, not produced by a 30-person team in a custom-built warehouse. The common YouTuber filming on a phone, talking honestly into a camera, is finding their place again. This isn't nostalgia, it's rebellion. A rebellion against YouTube becoming indistinguishable from mainstream media, against creators turning into brands and shows rather than people. The magic of YouTube used to be that it wasn't TV. It wasn't polished. It wasn't perfect. It was raw, personal, imperfect, and honest. And that's what audiences are yearning for now, a return to that spirit. YouTubers who are flawed, who are figuring things out in public, who aren't backed by millions but are driven by ideas. The pendulum is swinging back, and it's swinging hard. KSI is undeniably a titan of the platform. But like MrBeast, his content is built on a model that belongs to a previous YouTube era. Attention at all costs, spectacle over substance. That model is starting to crack. MrBeast's dominance is beginning to feel like the end of an era, not the start of a new one. And KSI, while immensely popular, will never surpass it because he's still playing by the old rules, still relying on a format that viewers are outgrowing. The screaming at the camera ship has sailed. The over-edited, overproduced, algorithm-optimized era is fading.
KSI will never be as big as MrBeast because that era itself is ending. And those who thrive next will be the ones who don't try to be louder, but who dare to be quieter. More real, more human, more YouTube.